All right, about John the Ripper. Okay, I put the project up here, which we'll look at in a second. I put the presentation I'm going to go through tonight as well. I put this word mangling file up there, and also the password file you need and a Word file. You need all these. So they're also in the Dropbox. And I also included, under the software you needed folder, whatever you like, software needed folder, I put, come on. I put John 1701. I think there's a slightly newer version out which works just as well. And there's also a distributed computer version out that's free. Do you want to use that? What?
The Word file, is it the same one that's in vSphere already?
Yes, same one.
Okay.
Well, not positive. Look at it to make sure. But the one in the Dropbox is the correct one. I don't know where William got the image from when he made it. And also, I tell you the truth, just download the new one.
Okay.
I would hate for you to get it, because in the past, I remember somewhere there was a wrong password file, and people ended up with the wrong one. But inside the lab for this, I have the password file and the Word file. They're right there. Save them both to your machine, okay, or save them to your vSphere machine, whatever. Okay. So let's look at what this project is, and we'll see how it works. Okay. Okay. Learn how to break passwords. We're going to talk about the complexity of passwords, and there was actually news this morning about Burger King's Twitter account. Did anyone read that news?
McDonald's hacked it, didn't it?
I don't think it was McDonald's. They kept, I guess someone broke into Burger King's Twitter account. The password was Whopper123, which is a really good password. It was posting all this stuff about the Big Mac or McDonald's or something. But it's one of those deals, any publicity is better than no publicity, so I guess they are doing good because of it. But we're going to realize some passwords are better than others, okay? Now, we're going to walk through a demo of all this, but the password file is a file that is made by a Linux server. I'll even show it to you. There it is, okay? This is a password hash. This is an MD5 password hash. The left side is the password name, like the username, like John and Bob. And the right-hand side is the encrypted version of the password. Okay. What we're going to do with John the Ripper is we're going to break those. Okay. And you'll see there's 20 of them, so you get 5 points each, basically. Then there's 5 at the bottom. Okay. The 5 at the bottom, you solve one of them, that equals 2 at the top. You solve 2 at the bottom, you're done. You get 100. No one has broken one yet. Just so you know. So don't expect to break them too easily.
Well, we have 2 weeks, so you never know.
I know what they are. Ain't happening. Okay. So you have, and the words file has the passwords in them. And I'm going to show you all. I'll show you the word. Actually, I can show you the words file at the same time. It should be the same one that's in your. It's in the system. It's a whole bunch of words. It's I don't know how many thousands it is in here.
20 pages.
It is 1,957 passwords. What John the Ripper does is uses rules. That's the portion we're using. John the Ripper has many modes. We're using the word list rules mode, which means it's going to take this word list and apply rules to them. So say I told it to replace the Z with an S. Okay? For each one of these words, like you come to zooming, replace the Z with an S, and then it would encrypt it with MD5 and compare it to a password hash. All John the Ripper does is runs a rule against a dictionary and then compares the hashes. Yes, sir?
That's a lot of words. Do you think it'd be possible if I divided that word list into 3 different lists on 3 different computers?
Actually, there's even a so much shorter way to do it, which we're going to talk about.
Okay.
You can make this list literally this big, like 15 words only, which some people don't seem to understand, but we're going to get there in a second, yes. But, so what John does is it mangles these words, you see here, encrypts them with MD5, then compares them. Because a hash, we learned that a hash is non-reversible. It's kind of like a windshield. If you smash your windshield, it's kind of hard to put it back together again. So this mangles the words, encrypts it with the same hash, then compares the hash in that file I just showed you to the new hash you made. And if they match, it's like, oh, I figured it out. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're just going to be mangling words. Okay? Okay, go back over here. Okay, there's 20 words required. You can get as many as you want. It's up to you. If you get 1 and want to quit, you can have a 5, I guess. It probably won't be very good. Okay. Now, it says, I highly recommend only running the rules against specific words. Okay, now, out of that list of 1900 I just showed you, there's 15, there's not 20. There's actually only 15 words in there. Yes, there's 20 passwords, there's only 15 words because some are used multiple times. There's a way we're going to learn where you tell it to skip all the rest of them. When you give me these rules, if you don't give me the portion to make it skip the other words, you're going to lose 10% of your grade. Okay?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Okay. There's something called a reject rule, which can reject a whole bunch of the words in that dictionary. It's basically like saying, skip gallery 1. That's how that sped up your job. Or 2, 3, 4, and 5 maybe. There's a reject rule in John the Ripper. You can tell it to skip a lot of them. And you'll figure out which ones they are. Hopefully. And because when I run it, I'm grading you based on it with the entire word list. Because a lot of people will go through that list, pick out the 15 words because they're very noticeable, and only run the rules against the 15 words. And it might break it in a few seconds. But if I take your rules and run them against the entire dictionary, it could take hours. Okay? So I'm going to run it against the entire list. So when we get the reject, make sure you understand that part. Okay? The rules needed in this lab are these right here. Toggle case, append, keyboard shift, and we're going to walk through all these. Always right, capitalize, reflect, reverse. Reflect is this way, you know. I take a word and flip it over. Like password becomes D, whatever, the other way, all the way up to the P, backwards. It's pretty hard to do that backwards. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. Lowercase first, duplicate, pluralize. All of these are needed. Okay? You need to use every one of these in one point or another. Many of the words require only one rule. Some require more. Okay? Says combinations are required for some of them. The hint I will give you, once I know you've done some of this, don't tell me I solved one. That ain't good enough. Once you solve some of them, what I'll do is I will tell you, okay, the ones where I say, you know, some require multiple, I will tell you one of the words requires a substitution and a reflect. So you know which rules to combine. Okay? It's not a great hint, but it definitely is something. Okay? I only did single word substitutions. What the heck does that mean? Well, I put a PDF up there. And this is just from Wikipedia. Make it big so y'all can see it. This is just called delete speak. Like I could replace an A with a 4, or an A with an at, a B with a 8. You see how the B is replaced with a pipe symbol and a 3? I won't do that. I only use single character substitutions. Okay.
So D isn't really going to be...
D, I'm not doing anything. I didn't use a D. Like C, I could have used that because those are all singles. I'm talking about doubles. See how the B, the pipe, and the 3 required 2 things to make a B? I only did single character substitutions. Like I could do these E's. Those are all good. I don't have a clue how W fits in there, but F, forget it, ain't happening. This is a good one. So would I use this one? No, because that's a triple characters requirement there. I could do these. I didn't do that one. I didn't do those. I could do these. These. I didn't do the Madonna boobs or this one.
Well, not that, but like a similar.
I did. It could be this one, but it's not going to be these guys. So y'all understand that so many people say I can't get it. Don't do that. It's okay. So y'all understand. But this is up there as well. You can look at that. It's just off of Wikipedia. We know how wonderful that is. So only single letter substitutions. Okay. Okay. What I need from you is your rules file, optimized to break all the passwords in 10 seconds or less. What I mean by that is maybe you're going to write a substitution rule that substitutes every letter in the world. Well, once you know what it broke, say you're substituting A with an at sign, but you weren't sure, so you did A with a 4, A with an at, A with all this stuff. And once you saw that the A with the at's the one that worked, take out the rest of your rule. The whole point of that, I want to sit here for hours grading these. I mean, if you have a substitution rule that's too long, it literally could take days and days. Okay, and don't be like, I think it was Joseph Stone. We have literally people who write substitution rules to replace every letter with every letter. Like they replace an A with a B, an A with a C, an A with a D, an A with an E, an A with an F, an A with a 1. And it's like, can you imagine exponentially that would take forever? I only use very basic substitutions. That paper I gave you is all I used. But I didn't use the double ones. So if it's not on the paper, I didn't do it. Is everybody okay with that? But I want your rule optimized. Basically, if you tell it to replace an A with an at, and that's the only, it should break it instantly because that's all it's going to check. Okay? So I want that. And I made an area in the quizzes area that once you're done, just put them all in there. It'll automatically grade it for you. And if you don't put them in there correctly, it'll remove 10%. So if you don't put in the correct reject rule, it'll take 10% off your grade. Okay? But just when you're done, submit them in the quizzes area. Again, there's no time limit on it. Just get it done first, then just dump them all in there. So submit your john.ini to the Dropbox so I can verify that you actually did it. And then if I want to go ahead and check it, I will. Okay? So there's 20 passwords to be broken. You get a point for each, basically. So there's really only 21 points on the quiz. They end up being about 5 points each. You get 1 point for giving me the rule you ran it with. Just so you at least know how to run it. Okay? There's the 5 elites. You don't have to break them. If you do, just email them to me. I was going to add them to the quizzes area, but Roy told me I shouldn't. So it's all Roy's fault. So, because he didn't expect any of you to even attempt them. So.
If you do, good luck.
Now, I will make a caveat here. In the past, I did have someone break all the elites. But it was because they were in the class the previous semester, I showed them the answers. And that's kind of cheating. Okay? Because if you come up and tell me, I broke all elites tonight, no, I don't think so. Like I was actually telling our secretary this morning in my online Java class, of like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, 10-question quiz. If you knew everything about Java, how fast do you think you can do that quiz?
2 hours.
42 seconds? Literally solved the entire quiz, got 142 seconds. I couldn't even read the questions that fast. Another did it in like 55 seconds. 2 students completed in under a minute. That's impossible. He's like, but I'm a speed reader. I'm like, yeah, but not 10 questions, multiple choice. There ain't no way. So we know what happened. Somebody said a D, B, C, A, D, you know. All right. There's also a link to that leaked word mangling thing, which I did put up there. Everybody okay on what we're going to do?
Hey, Ken.
Yes.
So if I'm understanding what you're saying is that the one rule breaks the code?
We're going to make rules here in a second. I'll show you what they do. We're going to walk through, John. We're going to walk through a slide presentation, and we're going to demo it. We hope we're going to demo it. We're going to see. Okay. I'm not going to run this as a regular slide presentation because I want to run the program as well, but I'm going to get them both up here. Okay. Now, on your virtual machines, it's already installed. It's under John 1701 or something like that. It's also installed in Backtrack if you want to do it in Backtrack. Some of you have a Backtrack machine already. You can also download it and do it. I've installed it on this machine here, but I will tell you virus scanners don't like this program. So they consider it a privilege escalation program because it breaks passwords. So it might delete mine. 1701. So I put in John 17. Again, you can get the newer version if you want. You can literally get the distributed version. It's fine. Oh, and where do you get this program from? Let me show you. If you go to www.openwall.org, there it is. It's John the Ripper's website, openwall.org. It's a free program. John the Ripper, password cracker for Windows and Linux. And what's the latest version? 179 is the latest version. So it's a little bit newer than what I have up there. Either one will work fine.
So the newest version is not a stable one.
Well, I'd get one.
See, even numbers are like the stable
Oh,
releases.
well, who knows? But the one I gave you will work just fine. But I tell you what, there is a lot of information on this other website. It's pretty handy. Called Google. If you type John the Ripper, we'll say reflect. Reflect. You like that?
Really? What is that?
I was thinking my pool. Okay. So very easily, you can type what you want, and it comes right, and it tells you all the rules, all the syntax. Okay? You see these? Okay? So, type John the Ripper and what you want it to do, and it'll do it for you. What was it? What was the other one? Append? Let's say append. I'm going to put it in my pool again. Okay, here's one. Oh, append is going to be in the same area. Okay, but there's tons of information on that website. Just go read the darn things. So append, let's see, append. Now there it is. Append X to the word. Okay, so very easy to find stuff on Google about that. Okay, now I'm in the John the Ripper directory. We were actually talking just before we came into class tonight that a lot of people don't have a clue what the command line is. Suck it up and learn, I guess. I don't know what else to tell you. It's not that difficult. But I'm in the John, I did change directory. Everybody get that? Here, let me start at the beginning. CD slashing, start at the beginning.
Kid, where are the buttons?
Change into there, then I'm going to go into the run directory. Okay. Now, there's my file. Run John-386. That's the one we're going to run. Okay. Let's go back to my PowerPoint. Okay. We're on page 2 now. The basics of the command is John is the program. Okay. Inside of backtrack, if you go to the command prompt somewhere in back, type John, it automatically changes you into the pen test folder. Puts you in the right folder to run all this stuff. Okay. And then, the way this reads is, again, this is in backtrack. You would run John, then this is telling us in word list mode, and here's our word list, demo pass. Then run the rules, and then there's the password file. Okay? So word list specifies the word list, demo pass is the word list with the passwords in it. No, I'm sorry, this is one with the passwords in it. And we want rules to enable mangling. Okay? The next one here, you can also output it to the screen, which I'm going to show you how to do all that in a second. You can output, like, here's the Windows one. This right down here says John386 is the program, word list mode, and here's our word file, enabling mangling rules, then I'll put the results to the screen. If you wanted to run it against a password file, you just replace this with your password file name. Again, I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to walk through it like 50 times. Okay? So when you ask me what command did you run it, there's basically the answer. Except instead of SD out, you replace it with passwd or whatever the password file is. We okay on that? Okay, pretty simple. Just gave you 1 point. All right. Okay, so John the Ripper, there's a config file for Linux and there's an INI file for Windows. It's the same file, works on either. Okay? If you want to do it in Linux, it's john.conf. If you want to do it in Windows, it's john.ini. Easy enough. Okay. You can make your own custom rules in there, and I'm going to show you how to do all that. Okay. There's some passwords we're going to use in our demo, but I'll show you. Okay. Let me bring up... okay, we already looked at... Remember, I already showed you the... Actually, let me go to my John directory. I might need these two. I don't know if I put them in there already. I'm going to go to John, run. Let's make sure this is the right one. Okay, that's a good one. And make sure, where's Word? Make sure this is the right one. Okay, the words are in there, so I got them all. I'm pretty sure they're in yours, and if not, they're in the Dropbox. Just download them. Okay? Now, so the first command we're going to look at is the replace command. SXY says replace all characters that match X with Y. What that means is, if we have the word dog in our dictionary, again, this is a dictionary tool, so we're going to take the word dog that's in our dictionary, and if we say SDF, it says replace all D's with F's. Everybody got that? So let me do my example here. Okay, let's run the command. It's John-386, then what? You guys are really good. You all knew that. Okay, now, I'm going to... Let's just do this one for a second. So what this says is run it in wordless mode using the word.txt file. Use the rules and output to the screen. There it goes. It ran all, is that? Okay. Let me, did I not empty this INI file out? I thought I did. Hold on 1 second here. Okay, I made an entry. It's like 250 lines down. Put your rules in this area. Okay? Now, if I run this again, darn, I cleaned out my screen. Oh, it's not doing it. It's just showing you the passwords. Hold on. I still got to get this working right. Why isn't it working right? Okay, so we're starting again. Inside this area, go under custom rules. Now, if you run it with no rules, you're going to get this error. Okay? There's no wordless rules. Okay? Now, John the Ripper, I'm going to tell you, does come with some predefined rules. Right here. Okay? These are predefined rules, and if you download one off the web, these will already be there, and they won't be commented out. See all the comments at the beginning, the pound signs? So if you get it off the web, they won't be commented out, and then if you turn it in with your rules and you use these, that doesn't count. Because these will break. A handful of them. But I'm not going to, use those. So make sure you know what rule does it. So let's look for substitution. Now we saw, what?
Uncomment all that?
No, leave them commented out. You don't want to use these.
And they already will be commented out?
They will be uncommented.
Oh, so
I mean-
if you download them.
Right.
Yeah.
Just saying
If you download them, they will be, what this is a bunch of predefined rules that somebody else made that might solve it for you. Okay? So, I'm going to go in here. And actually, 1 second here. I'm going to verify in the content page. They wouldn't download the software yet. I'm going to verify you got the right one. So I'm going to delete it from here real quick. In case I gave you one with the answers in it, that would be no fail. You wouldn't want that, would you?
Yeah, Java's
Okay. So, we saw here substitutions. Everybody see that? We're back to this again. This is substitute D with F. Remember our word list? Our word list had, what was the last word in the word list? Anyone know? Zooming, wasn't it? So if I go in here and says, substitute Z with dollar sign. That's not going to work, obviously. Everybody see what I'm doing there? Okay. Now I'm going to run it again. Now when I run it, there it goes. It replaced all the capital Z's with a dollar sign.
We can't see that, right?
Why can't you see that? Fine. I'll make it so you can see it. That better? Okay. So my rule, can you see this over here? Okay. So that substitution, replace all Z's with dollar signs. I can very easily say replace it with an A. So I could run this again, and now you'll see all the Z's became A's. So that's the substitution rule. If I wanted to run it against the password file, just do that. Okay? Now what it's doing, it's loading all the passwords where it says 25 hashes. Remember the words file had 25 passwords in it? It was 20 and then 5 elites. So it loaded those. And then what it did is it went through and replaced every Z with an A, made it into a hash file, and compared it with a password file. And we got none. Everybody see that? We got no hits. If it had broken one, it would have appeared here. Okay?
Show us what one looks like broken.
That's top secret. No, we'll break one before the day's up. Okay? So, everybody okay on substitution so far? What if I want to do something different? I could do S O P. What's that one going to do?
Change those to P's.
Substitute an O with a P. Okay, capital O with a capital P.
Yeah.
What?
You could do this all day long.
Yes, I could. Or should I say, yes, you could.
I'm assuming you're going to show us a more efficient way.
There you go. Oh, no, this is the efficient way.
No,
This is the speed round.
This is the efficient way. Why do you think you have 2 weeks? But what you can do is you can make your rules, make many rules, and say, go. Leave for the day.
But I noticed you never took out, so you don't have to take out.
Oh, yeah. What this did is actually, let me, if I can, I don't know how far I can scroll back up. What this did is it went through and it replaced all the Z's with A's and then all the O's with P's. Yeah, it basically did it all. Okay. Now, if I do another rule, say I want to do a substitute P with K, now it's going to have one rule that does all that, replace all the Z's with A's and the O's with P's, and then a totally different rule that replaces the P's with K's.
So it won't do them at the same time.
So not do them at the same time.
So it's
If you want to do them at the same time, you need to have them on the same
Same
line.
line.
Good question. Okay? Again, if I want to run it against the password file, just select it if I can find it. There it is. And do that. Now this one will take longer because now it's actually doing more stuff. It's never going to get it. I mean, I'm making stupid substitutions here. But let's see. I don't remember what the answers are. So let's just try one. A with an at sign. Okay,
D6.
let's try that one. See if it does it. Oh, that's not okay. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Oh, it was almost a minute ago too. Got nothing. Darn it. How about?
What did that 96% mean?
She would,
Oh, it wasn't quite done when I stopped it before.
Oh.
Yeah. And oh, when it gets done, it tells you what it's trying last. Again, it was trying zooming last. But we'll see. We'll get there. So everybody okay on substitutions? Pretty simple. Okay. The next one is insertion. This says insert character X in position N. So if we take the word fog and we give it I1R, we're inserting at position 1 an R. Now this is just like in Java. You remember strings start at 0? So 1 is not at the beginning. 1 is after the F. So if I went back over here, keep open the wrong thing, and said insert position 3, let's put in a $sign. Okay. Okay, do that, and let's put it on the screen. What it did, number 0, 1, 2 is Z00. Then position 3 is right where the M was. So put the dollar or the ampersand, whatever you call it. What's that called, ampersand?
Yeah.
Put the ampersand at position 3, which is where the M was, and it moves the other one over. It didn't over, yes sir.
What if it, if the position is farther longer than the width?
I don't know, I've never tried that. Let's try
it's
that.
actually a second, like a 2-letter word. It's easy.
There, 1, 2,
It's like
3,
this.
4, 5, 6. Oh, you're talking about appending. But what happens if I tell it?
8.
How many was in it? Was it only 7 long? Let's go 9. It goes to the end.
Okay.
Goes it as far as it can because zing is shorter. If it's longer, it just puts it at the end. That's a good question. No one's asked that before. Okay, that's insertion. Overstrike. This is overstrike characters in position N with character X. So we're saying overstrike in position 0 with a capital F. Remember, frog started lower. Now we're going to make it upper. So if I went over here and said it's a lowercase though, isn't it? Yeah, lowercase. So I said overstrike 0 K.
How's that different from the first thing? From substitution?
It's not, but substitution only replaces certain characters. Well, hold on. Replaces certain characters with certain other characters. Overstrike says whatever's at the beginning is not going to be a K.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, so let's run this. So every letter, first letter, is now K. Okay? Everybody okay with overstrike? Rejection. Okay. Very, very important. Okay? Now, so it says allows words to be tested to meet conditions before mangling. You have 1,900 words. You want to do something first. Okay? So this says exclamation point X. It says reject the word if it contains character X. Using X allows selection of the character. Okay, let's look at this example. This says explanation question mark D. Does anyone have a clue what that rule's doing? Not D. It's a character class. D is decimal integer. So what's happening is this is reject every word with an integer in it. So that's why dog, you got no output. Frog, or dog 1, no output. Frog was okay because there was no number in it. So what we did is we rejected every word that had a number in it. Okay? Let me show you an example here. Let me go down to our words file. I'm going to go to, okay, our last word is zooming. Okay, let's just put a 6 in it. Okay, so we're going to, where is my, oh, it's right here. We're going to reject character class D. Get rid of the O. Okay, so that should reject all the words with a number. You agree? So zooming is now gone. Y'all see that?
How's that help us crack a password?
Because, well, you know, that's a very good question. Let's look for, how about John the Ripper, character class. Okay, so user-defined character, well, actually, it's going to be in here then. Okay, numeric constants, character classes. Okay, maybe I can skip all words with vowels. I can skip all words with consonants. I can skip all words with white space. I can skip all punctuation. I can skip all words with lowercase letters or uppercase letters.
We can't see what's on the far left.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
And how do you know what to skip? You don't know what the password is.
Yeah, but I gave you the word. I give you the password list. I bet if you were to look through here, you might see something sooner or later.
Question, I just,
You might see something sooner or later.
There.
So there's some words that are different than others.
Well, there's one.
Some of these things don't belong. Okay. That's all right.
so you said that check ripper is used on, as a, what was it you described it as? It's a tool, but,
It's a mangling tool. Right?
so, like, networks might use this to verify people are using very simple passwords.
Exactly. You can make a very basic rule, and if you run it and it breaks your password, hey, you got a too easy of a password.
So it's kind of like reject all letters that don't have like uppercase letter, lowercase letter, numbers.
Well, actually, you're not. What you're really saying is don't test. You're not saying reject is in put out the
Right,
word.
right, but-
You're saying don't run the rule on a word that meets certain criteria. So can you think of what we might want to reject?
Uppercase.
Okay, so maybe we could tell it, don't run this against uppercase letters. Or any word with uppercase letters. So then, instead of 1900, now you got 15. So you could very easily go in here, and you can very easily give it a rule to reject uppercase letters. Right there. Easy enough? See how this can be helpful?
Yes, but no, but yes.
Trust me, some of you aren't going to remember that. Then you got to turn it in without it and be like, what? Oh man, I totally forgot. So I'm just saying. Just saying.
Which is why
Okay.
we should all overachieve and turn it early.
Yes. All right. So where we're at. Okay. So everybody okay in the reject rules? So you can vary, and the way you use a reject rule, say we're going to put a reject rule, you could literally say reject rule, then you could substitute O with a 9 or something. Okay, what would happen is, it does the reject rule first. So this is going to skip all words with a number in it. And the ones that don't have a number in it, it's going to replace an O with a D. Understand what I'm saying? You always put the reject rule at the beginning.
But none of ours have any numbers in them.
I know, but that's just an example. You would not use that reject rule. You would use a different reject rule, which Rebecca, I think, just figured out what it is.
Question mark U. Yeah.
Question mark E. So your reject rule would say, skip all words that meet a certain criteria. And so at the beginning of every one of your rules, you're going to put that. And it's going to make it run. Literally, it'll solve them in 10 seconds. You're like, done. Actually, let's do this. Let's, we're going to copy this.
And if we don't have that one in there, that's 10% off.
So, yep, you lose 10%. Is it a U like that, Rebecca? Is that what you thought?
What's that?
Is it a U like that?
Is it question mark lowercase u?
Okay. So I'm going to go with this one right here, okay? I'm just going to replace O's with 9s. Easy enough? I'm going to see how long it takes. That took 0 seconds. Well, crap.
Run it against the password file. It should
Okay, that'll take a little longer. Well, yeah, okay. Let's do it against.
But you have to do dash dash.
Okay, wait. We're trying it against the password file. It's not going to work, but we're going to see how long it takes. Okay, it ran it in 6 seconds. Everybody see that? So now I'm going to go in here and swap this and do this rule instead. Same rule, but now I'm doing reject. Remember, before it took 6 seconds. 0 seconds. Because what it did is skipped all the uppercase words and ran my rule against only the lowercase. So instead of 1900, we did 15. Understand why reject rule is kind of important? Okay. Make sure you get that working. All right, there's a reject rule. Append and prefix, $X and $X. Let's do $X first. It's dollar, we'll put a Y. Okay, let's see what it does to our words. There it goes, I put in Y at the end of each word. Okay. Now let's do it the opposite way. Now let's do it $Y. Okay. So I appended or a prefix, I guess it's called. Okay. So we did those two.
Prefix and postfix.
All right. Now appended and prefix. Now let's go rotate. Okay. Rotate the word right. Okay. So let's go this way. I gotta fix that zooming word. It's gonna mess me up. Hold on. Come on, zooming. Now, I'll tell you what a lot of people do. They go through this file and they make a separate words file with just those 15 words in it and use it all day long. Totally forget about using the reject rule and turning it in. Oh man, I totally forgot to run against the whole entire file. So, okay. Now let's run it again. Now we have the rotate. So what do you think rotate's going to do? Shifts it by 1. It took this G at the end and put it at the beginning. The zooming became zooming.
So if you put a number at the end of it, like bracket 2, it'll shift 3 characters over?
I don't think so. Let's try it and see. I really don't think that'll work. It might. No. Does not like that. Yeah, if you do a rule wrong, it'll tell you. So if we do it the other way, it's going to take the Z and put it at the other end.
Did you make that symbol twice and have it shift too low?
Yes. That's
Okay,
good.
there's zooming. Let's do it twice. I think they require a space between them to tell you the truth. There it goes. Did it twice. Easy enough? Okay. So there's rotate, delete. Come on. Okay, delete. Delete the last character, or we can delete a certain position. Let's delete the last character. Zooming is now missing a G. Or we could say delete position 1. So zooming is now going to be Z-O-M-I-N-G. Oh. No, why not? Hold on a minute. Oh, sorry, it's D-N, not the number. D1. Now it should delete a 0. There it goes, deleting one of the zeros in it. Okay? You could rotate and then delete also. I mean, you could combine these. Like, so if we did rotate once, so zooming puts a Z at the end, then we could say delete the last character. So it would really become zooming with no G, or no Z. So you can combine all these together. Okay, and I think we're almost done. Oh, we can also pluralize. Okay. Hint, this might be handy to know for something later on in this course. So many people seem to forget this one. Okay. We're going to pluralize something here. So now we're zoomings. Okay? So we pluralized it, and capital I, we're going to ing it. So zooming will be zoominging. Zoominging. Okay? Alright. Might be handy to know those two, just so you know. All right, everybody okay on what we did? We pretty much covered all of them. You just got to figure out which combination and which letters and. Everybody happy?
We'll see. No.
You're not happy? It's easy. You got 2 weeks to do. Once you've broken some, say a couple, like, okay, at least 3, you can ask for the hint and I'll give it to you. Because, come on, at least 3. I mean, majority of them only require 1 rule. So you literally could go through there and put all the single rules and it's going to break a bunch of them. But don't sit there and replace an A with a B, and an A with a C, and an A with a D, and an A with... Now, could you replace an A with a lowercase a? Sure, you could do that. So you can replace a lower with an upper with a lower. There's a lot of things you can do. But it is definitely solvable. Any questions on it? I can't believe our antivirus didn't kill it. I'm really surprised.
So there's
Now
no
you
class
fixed it.
next Tuesday?
Oh yeah, no class next Tuesday. But I will be here at class time if you have questions. But at the beginning of class time, if no one's here, I'm leaving. Okay? Will that work for you? I don't want y'all to feel gypped or anything. So no class next Tuesday, but I'll be here at 5:40. If y'all don't show up, I'm leaving. If you show up and have questions, I'll help you. But
Do you want us to
maybe I'll give you someone answer.
that proof that we've cracked a few?
Oh yeah, the way you cracked it, just send it to me. Send me your rule. Hey, I got these. Oh, one very important thing. Very, very important. Let me. I don't have another darn test file. Okay. Right. You see this John Pot file right here? Okay. There's a file in here called john.pot. It is not a PowerPoint file. It's a text file. What happens is anytime it breaks a file, a password, it puts it in there. And it will never break it again. Because the program is saying, I've already broken it. So if you make a rule and it breaks the password, it's going to be in this john.pot file. Then if you know how you're trying to make your rules better, you're trying to get rid of the stuff you didn't use, it's not going to break it again until you delete the john.pot file. So keep deleting the john.pot file. It's like the golden dictionary we're going to learn about in another couple labs from now. What it's saying is, I've already broken it. Why do it again? Okay? So, again, if you open it in PowerPoint, it's just going to be the titles on the slides. I don't know why it didn't match, but it's a text file. Just open with a text file, and what it's going to be is it's going to have the password in here. It's going to have the hash and what the password is. Okay? And it'll never break it again. So if you forget about this, you're like, I know I had 3. What happened? Well, they're in here. If you want to make sure it works, delete this again. What I recommend doing is going into your john.ini file, and once you get one that works, say, okay, put a pound in front of it, and say, or that's not a pound. Where's the pound sign? There. Put the pound sign and say, this below broke pizza or something. I don't know. That way you have a comment, you know exactly what it did in your john.ini file, so you can, and I commented them out, so we're going to skip those from now on. But when you're done, try them all at one time. And it should go, should literally 2 seconds is all it takes. If it takes longer than 10 seconds, we have an issue. Because you're not making your rules better. Because in the past, people turn the rules that would literally take hours and hours to run. And can you imagine me trying to grade all of your stuff and it's taking me hours and hours? It'd be kind of like you searching like 4,000 files.
We do it classically.
We won't want that to happen. So, all right, I'm going to go make sure I put the right one up there. And I'll put the john.ini back up, the John file back up in there. Okay? All right, you guys are done.
Just as a side note, because everybody does it at least once per